Charlie Kirk catches Gavin Newsom at his slimiest.
Get into the weeds. It's a very effective debate tactic. Is it rooted in truth? Of course not. Play cut 194. You signed a law where school districts can't even tell parents if their kids are trans.
Not true.
Okay, then
no, they can't.
It is true.
And they just can't get fired for not doing that. And it wasn't just trans.
Fired for not.
The law was explicit, said you can't be fired for not snitching on a kid, not just for being trans, for being gay. And
in other words, you can keep secrets from your students' parents.
my point is, how in the hell
But
are you
the
telling
parents know?
They have every.
But is
By the
telling
way,
parents
yes.
snitching?
No, the teachers themselves have the right. The law is they can do that. They can do that. We're not saying
That's what Gavin Newsom calls a teacher being honest and transparent with the student's parent. Snitching.
you can't do that. We're saying you shouldn't be fired if you choose not to say Johnny was talking about liking some other boy.
That's a charitable reading. The other
it's not charitable. It's actually the freedom not to.
Let me tell you the other way to say this: that a teacher, of course, should be fired if you don't notify a parent of what's happening to their kid.
Of course,
they should be terminated for that.
On health and safety, shouldn't they be teaching? I want these kids to teach. I want these teachers to teach. And by the way,
apparently not. Apparently, you want them to do everything, but you want them to be the parents. Let the parents do the parenting, and let the teachers teach.
they feel like the health or safety of their kid, they have a responsibility to communicate. They still can't. By the way, we're not telling these teachers they can't. We're saying they won't be fired if they don't look around and say in the recess, there were two boys. Why didn't you see that? You're fired. You should have said something because they're talking about
two different things. But there, of course, should be a penalty measure, whether it be termination or whatever, if a teacher withholds information from a parent. Because what you're saying is that there's no way to hold them accountable. So you're saying you're
And exactly. That's the difference that he's trying to do the bait and switch. We're, on the one hand, of course, nobody's saying that a teacher should be going out and asking children what they are, what their sexual thing is or whatever. The point is, if a child is in the situation where they've told you information that is important to the parent and you don't tell the parent, there should be recourse.
to what though?
The
Accountable
parents,
to two kids talking about the fact that
a penalty measure, whether it be termination or whatever, if a teacher withholds information from a parent.
Withholding
what you're saying is that there's no way to hold them accountable. So you're saying you're
accountable to what though?
The
Accountable
parents,
to two kids talking about the fact that
this is
talking about subject matter. All of a sudden now we have to have teachers.
Now it's just subject matter. When they want to talk to the lefties, then, oh yes, you can tell us that you want to socially transition. Now, when he's talking to Charlie Kirk, they're just talking about subject matter.
I think speech or conversations.
I think you would even agree, Governor. That is an over-extreme example. What we're talking about.
No, but the extreme example. This was a solution.
What we're talking about is which happens a lot, unfortunately, is if a young girl says that, hey, I want to transition, and the teacher accommodates and affirms it, and the parent doesn't even know. I have met parents.
Exactly. Guys, if you are enjoying this, please do hit that like and subscribe. I am live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. See you there.
Like that in
I
the
heard
state.
Trump, and then they come back and they're away or something. There's so much extreme.
I will say, and we don't have to, we don't have to wrestle too much on this topic. But you guys will lose on these topics. I might disagree, but
I'm one of those guys, and Joe, I appreciate, and I by the way appreciate the civility which we're engaged in this conversation sincerely.
What was that little hand gesture?
I don't mind losing. Sometimes you lose on principle. It's one of those things. Everything's not political is the point. And sometimes the principle. And by the way, mad respect for you on abortion and same-sex marriage. You feel
where the American people don't agree with me.
Exactly. And I admire that on principle. But for me, it's not just political. And I appreciate you making that point. I deeply am mindful of the politics of this, which are very unhelpful.
Okay, I just
personally.
Then why do you continue to fuel the fire?
Unhelpful, more broadly, professionally, the Democratic Party and our brand. And one of the reasons, to your point, the Democratic Party brand has just been crushed.
And so your self-awareness is helpful to know, because it is deeply unpopular. And I think that is an ascendant political force that is not going away.
No, I appreciate, but I also appreciate you hold deeply unpopular beliefs.
Of course I do, but I know.
But you're not running.
No. Are you telling me that someone in this interview has unpopular beliefs? No.
For office.
I'm not going to run for president as a moderate.
There you go.
The facts are this. It's very simple. A California public school teacher is not required to inform parents if their child is transitioning. In July 2024, Governor Newsom signed Assembly Bill 1955, also known as the Support Academic Future and Educators for Today's Youth Act. The legislation prohibits school districts from enacting or enforcing policies that require teachers or other school staff to notify parents about a student's gender identity, sexual orientation, or gender expression.
So, and you can use all the fancy words. Oh, we're just talking about subjects. Do you want me? We have free speech. You want me to be subject to the subjects and the subjects? No, we want you to be transparent about the fact that you are not only in favor of this, but you are pushing this and you are empowering teachers to hide and withhold information from parents who may or may not disagree with them. You are empowering the teachers to be the most powerful person in that child's life. And these teachers, unfortunately, too often, not always, but too often, have a very strong ideological narrative that they want to push, and children are just too impressionable for that to be the case.
So he's taking an incredibly extreme interpretation of, and it goes back down to the core. Whose kids is it? So it doesn't block them from telling, obviously, but it enables teachers who are trying to secretly transition kids while the parents are clueless. Let me say that again. It enables and protects teachers who are secretly trying to transition kids while parents are clueless.
And those are people that we do not want to enable. Those are people that we do not want to protect. Those are the people that we want exposed and nowhere near children at all.
I thought I did okay. I thought we probably went
I thought you did pretty good, Charlie.
to a draw there. But anything on California, it's very, very difficult to make any progress with him. Prop 16 is one of the most radical things that has ever been proposed in the history of the state of California. He was not prepared to be able to defend this, and he tried to weasel out of it, saying, I don't know the details of it. This would have made racial discrimination legal in the state of California, and the voters of California overwhelmingly rejected it. He knew I got him on finally a California detail in 2020. I got him on one California detail. He was not prepared for Prop 16. Kudos to Blake for pulling this one out. And it wasn't like a small thing. This was a major racial reckoning ballot referendum in the middle of 2020 that he endorsed. If you want to see kind of what he believes and why he believes it, he was not prepared for this one. He was, of course, prepared for wildfires, and he was prepared for homelessness. He's got all his little talking points for that. Prop 16, whoop, a little bit off that shit. Play cut 187.
By the way, you're talking to someone who's never supported the defund.
No, I'm not saying, I know, but
I was explicit.
But
also,
hold on one second. You did support Prop 16 in 2020, which would have legalized racial prejudice, right?
That's
Prop 16
racist.
Would, and it,
I have to go back to my
No,
Prop
you know, you're smart.
No.
Prop 16.
I taught 960 SAT, so a little humility.
Hold on, no, you're the governor of the largest state in the country. No. I saw your debate against DeSantis. You're good at this stuff. You know what I'm talking about. Prop 16 would have had legalized racial prejudice, which would it got defeated by 16 points despite all the institutions. So you're asking
Thank
me what
goodness.
wokeism looked like when California, when all the institutions, yourself included,
Right.
with all due respect,
I appreciate
embraced
it.
this insane ballot measure. Guess what? Even the people of California didn't want racial
Remember
discrimination.
California since 19.
And so he can sit there and talk about how he's a moderate and he doesn't like this and he doesn't that. But actions speak louder than words. Let's just hear his response. Again, guys, please do hit that like and subscribe.
96 is that Prop 209s. Okay.
There was, city council meetings where they said the white people aren't allowed here, right?
And that's not good.
No, it's
that
not
kind of
good.
stuff, yeah.
And so what
It's not good, but yet you voted for it and you put it forth.
what ends up happening is a broader question of sensible, not racist suburban moms that are like, wait a second, I have a 8-year-old white son. Are you trying to say he's a racist?
Yeah.
And it creates
Pretty much, Charlie. That is exactly what they are saying. What did you guys think of these clips? Definitely check out the full thing. I am going to be covering the entire podcast live tonight. That is Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Come on through. Again, guys, if you are new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe, ring the bell, live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes whenever I feel like it. See you there.